In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a video that I've wanted to create for a while. It is actually part of a VR. It is hashtag dontwatchme. This is a tag that was started by Brittany at the Sunshine State Witch, who I really enjoy watching here on YouTube. So if you would like to see which witchy and spiritual creators I love on YouTube, then please do get yourself a hot drink, settle back, relax and enjoy. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. So excited to be making this video because it's one I've wanted to make for a really long time. I really enjoy watching Brittany's channel, and this is a hashtag that Brittany created quite a while now, I believe. And I did see the original video when it came out. I just didn't have the time right then to do the video, so it has taken me this amount of time to get to it. But I've been keeping a list for a while and it's been something I've really wanted to do. And I love this community, I really do. I feel like it's so supportive, and I love how generous everyone is with their energy and all the content that gets created, as well as all the wisdom that everyone shares, because everyone specialises in different things, and I think it's really beautiful to have community like that you can reach out to. I have a number of people that I love watching on YouTube, and many of them of course have huge followings. I am not going to be talking too much about channels that have very large followings. I want to instead lift up voices who have smaller channels, as I feel that that's really important. So I'm going to be focusing on those channels, and there are a lot, but again I can't really mention everybody, so if I do happen to leave some people out, it doesn't necessarily mean I don't watch your channel and I don't love your channel, because I do. I just had to, you know, make sure that the video was watchable and not like an hour long. So I'll just get started. Of course, I really enjoy Brittany's channel, Brittany the Sunshine State Witch. Brittany's channel is really fun and very real, very down to earth. Brittany has real witch chats. She talks about the problems that real witches face, the challenges in life, as well as like real spells, ritual ideas, things that she's practicing right now, and things that have worked, things that haven't worked, and also her spiritual practice and how it's evolved, etc. So I really like watching Brittany's channel. Thank you for creating this tag, of course. As well as that, there is Wine and Witchcraft, which is an incredibly fun live stream that has the Witch of Enchantment and the Sunshine State Witch together, and they are so funny and enjoyable to watch, and always lots of wisdom, and the chat is great. I tend to not get there because I live in England, but I usually watch it back the next day or the day after, and it's always really funny and just really enjoyable to catch, and there's always lots of wisdom that's being shared in the chat as well. So, and often really important topics that need to be discussed, and that our community needs to be, you know, considering and discussing as a group. So I really enjoy that too. And then of course the Witch of Enchantment. I think that that channel is so fun, and it's just, again, really very much like Brittany, like very real, very open and honest, and I love that kind of video where you really feel like you're getting to know the person and you're getting to understand about their craft. They share vulnerable sides of their life, as well as their practice and things they've learned, mistakes they've made, and what they're practicing at the moment, and ritual ideas and spells, etc. And again, I just love that kind of content, so I really like his channel as well. Next up is Jasmine Ambrosia. Jasmine is not afraid to talk about the things that other people are afraid to talk about. Jasmine talks about folk magic and spells and rituals and baneful magic as well, and the left-hand path, which is really interesting to me because, to be honest with you, whilst it's not so much something I've really considered myself to be on, I think that actually my path is very much aligned with that. So it is probably a moniker that I could take on board if I wish to. I mean, I tend to kind of identify myself as folk witch, folk practitioner, eclectic witch, solitary witch, hedge witch, because I do a lot of hedge crossing, astral travel, dream work, green witch, I do a lot of herbal practices, kitchen witch, because I again do a lot of that, hearth witch, home witch, cottage witch, again because it's a lot about the home, the garden. This is where I work and this is the kind of craft I do, whilst I also do cross the hedge, etc. So there are a number of things that I do in my practice. Obviously divination as well, tarot, etc. always all really important to me. So, but yeah, because I do work with Morrigan, I do work with ancestors, I do a lot of shadow work. I have started to work with some other deities as well who are often considered from the left-hand path on that spectrum thing, so I do think that's probably something I could consider. But yeah, I do love Jasmine's channel. So next up I want to talk about Sarah, the Midwest Witch. I've been watching Sarah for a couple of years now. Sarah makes a lot of content about the Morrigan, and they also host a podcast as well with Izzy Wilder, Black Sheep and Broomsticks, which I adore. It is like my favourite podcast at the moment. So again, Izzy Wilder as well. Let me just continue about the Midwest Witch first. So Sarah's channel is so original and focuses a lot on channeled messages from the Morrigan specifically, as well as tarot readings, prophetic channeled messages, and a lot of very deep subjects that a lot of people don't, again, want to talk about. Shadow work, really personal work as well that Sarah's been doing, and their practice too. I really appreciate Sarah's work. I just love what she is offering. So Izzy's channel is also really beautiful, an exploration into their spiritual path and how they came to be a witch and their past, etc. And again, similarly to Sarah, they have different paths, but they align in certain ways, and that is probably why they came together to do the podcast. And they just have this way of talking things through together that makes so much sense to me and really speaks to me. And there's so much wisdom these girls have. They're so intelligent, so bright, full of knowledge and wisdom and experience, and absolutely fantastic to watch. So again, Izzy talks about work with deity and personal experience, as well as tarot readings as well, and channeled messages too. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that you go and watch Izzy. Some really interesting videos that Izzy has shared about her personal journey, which I'm not going to talk about here because you can go and watch her channel. I would highly recommend. So Black Sheep and Broomsticks, it's again tackling all of these contentious topics that people don't touch on a lot. So talking about what witchcraft is, I remember was one topic, talking about Christianity and the witch wound as well. A lot of these topics have been touched on, and a recent podcast that I loved was on Lilith, which was fantastic. I would highly recommend that you go and listen. Again, really bright girls. It's a fantastic listen. Or I watch them on YouTube, so you can watch them recording it, but it is a podcast, and yeah, it's fantastic. Black Sheep and Broomsticks. Next up is Abby the Witch. I really enjoy Abby's channel. Abby's been creating for several years now. We recently started chatting a little bit more, and Abby's just such a cool person. Her channel's great. She also talks about the left-hand path, and she shares practices she's been doing and things she's working on in her witchcraft journey presently, as well as things she's learning, things she's experiencing. And again, just real raw witchcraft, you know. It's exactly the kind of channel I want to watch. You're learning from them, and they're sharing so vulnerably their path, and it's really beautiful. So I would highly recommend you go and watch Abby's channel. Helki Rain is a channel I love. Helki Rain is a British witch, and I remember discovered Helki like a few years ago because of tarot and oracle, and she has done a lot of videos in the past about tarot in general, meanings and readings, and as well as talking about other witchy things and magic. And recently she moved to France, and she's basically got her own homestead and she's building it up, and it's really amazing to see the work she's doing. It's really magical. She's doing a lot of kitchen witchcraft. She's got her own land that she's cultivating, growing her own vegetables and herbs, and it's just an incredible journey to share with her, all the magic that she's experiencing in her life, and it's very real as well, and I love that. So definitely go watch Helki Rain. I love watching Bronya K. Bronya K, again, is a British witch and is currently travelling at the moment and on the road and sharing the real life of a witch and a tarot reader on the road, and how, like, the reality of that, but it's so magical as well. Some of Bronya's videos are just incredible to watch, really beautiful and epic, and again, so full of wisdom. I feel like Bronya and I share a lot in common on our path, and how we came to our path when we were young and explored our path, and yeah, I really love Bronya's channel as well. I highly recommend Manuela at Place of Stillness Astrology. Manuela used to have a Place of Stillness channel which was mostly about tarot, and Manuela has been studying astrology for several years, and she is now an astrologer herself, and so her channel is devoted to astrology and tarot together. And Manuela does this beautiful practice where she embodies the energies and tries to transmute any negative elements of whatever the energy might be bringing for whatever the season or the transit or whatever the planets are doing, whatever the lunation is bringing, by grounding it into reality and utilize the elements that are at play to do something physical to sort of embody the nature of that energy, or to transmute any negative side of whatever that energy is, to support her during whatever transit or period of time or lunation, whatever season it is. And it's, so again, really, really interesting, and Manuela's full of knowledge about astrology and tarot and spirituality, and she's also a friend of mine as well, so it's really, really lovely to share her channel here, and she's done nothing but support me. She's just a really, really fantastic, beautiful person, and so intelligent. It's incredible. So I really, really definitely recommend you go watch Manuela's channel. I also love watching Hazel Jane Tarot. This channel is mostly about tarot decks and experiences with tarot, reading tarot. It's tarot tube at its very best, and I absolutely love it. Lots and lots of personal sharing as well, and lots of cultural elements to it as well, which is really, really beautiful. And so I would highly recommend you go watch Hazel Jane Tarot as well. Giselle at Madwich is another fantastic, real, down-to-earth witch. Giselle is like a absolutely perfect example of a green earth witch, and she's a gardener, she's a cook, she's a mum and a grandma, and it's just like her life is so interwoven with magic, and she talks about her family and her grandchildren and how they're getting into magic. It's really, really powerful and gorgeous, and keen crafter as well, and an artist, and she creates books of shadows and shares them and talks about the books she's reading, what she's working on, as well as tarot. She's really passionate about tarot as well, so there's so much in her wheelhouse, and she goes for hikes and forages and shares that, and that's beautiful too. So it's really, really great watching her. Taya Kennedy is a traditional witch who shares a lot about her practice in vlogs, as well as sit-down videos where she's talking educationally about subjects, and then often posing questions that are really, really interesting and really thought-provoking, and you know, that Taya's planned out in advance and really considered and thought about, and she often brings a really, really nuanced opinion to the topic, which is really, really powerful, really, really helpful, and gets the community talking. And Taya is also doing so much in her practice in her community where she is, as well as online. She's always learning, always growing, always developing, and sharing what she's reading and her real thoughts around what she's reading as well, which I really admire. So I love Taya's channel. The Green Art is a really, really beautiful channel about herbalism. It goes into all kinds of details about working with plant spirits and creating certain herbal preparations, and again, just full of a wealth of knowledge. I really enjoy that channel. Scottish Cunning Ways is a folk practitioner from Scotland. A lot of information about Scottish witch trials, Isabel Gowdy, and very academic as well. So highly, highly recommend that you go over and have a watch. Lorna Haywood was previously known as the traditional British witch on YouTube, and Lorna shares real traditional witchcraft. No holds barred, like practices, rituals, spells, techniques, proper folk traditional witchcraft practices. Like, it's really, really an amazing channel. So definitely go over and watch Lorna's channel. Mystically Being is a beautiful soul who is also a herbalist and very spiritual, and often ponders very, very spiritual and philosophical ideas and notions and topics. Talks about the higher self, but not in a new agey way, but more in a very grounded, very embodied way, again with the herbalism as well. Really, really beautiful channel, very uplifting. Meditations as well, really beautiful channel. Beanbag Hagwag is a favourite of many, and I have watched their channel for years as well. One of the witches who've been on social media for like the longest time and been open about their practice. Again, sharing their practice, rituals, their space, they're working on what they're reading, spells, all their wisdom, so many years of wisdom, and tackling difficult topics as well. Again, a real witch and a real witch's channel talking about their life as a witch and what they do, and I absolutely love it. The Hidden Shaman is a channel I think I discovered this year, and I've really been enjoying watching it because there's a lot of garden talk and gardening tours. And I really enjoy it because there's a lot of gardening involved and a lot of talking about plants and vegetables and growing of these, as well as making a house witchy and beautiful home crafts, etc. And it's very personal, very vulnerable again as well, so I really enjoy The Hidden Shaman. The cat is like nozzling my camera stand, and normally in the past I would have like paused and taken her away, but I just don't have time for that now, so I'm going to carry on. I want to recommend the crafty Kylak, who is an Irish witch and who shares like fantastic folklore, all kinds of folklore from Ireland, as well as kitchen witchery and things from their own practice, crafts, etc. And it's really interesting and fun, and learn a lot there about Irish paganism and folk practices. The Witch in the Woods is another amazing earthy witch who is real, who, you know, goes on these fantastic walks and takes you with them, often exploring topics like Anglo-Saxon witchcraft and folk magics and traditional witchcraft, as well as shamanism and spiritual practices, and sharing their own practice as well, and being very real, again, a lot of that. And I really admire that. A lot about ley lines as well, and the magic of the earth, and moving with the seasons. Really beautiful vlog style, and crafts, etc. Kitchen witchery, everything you want really. Gardening, all of it, love it. So that's The Witch in the Woods. Over here. Then there is Lavender Hazelwood Witches, who I love. Lavender Hazelwood Witches is, again, really down to earth, real witch. This is like the theme, really. These witches are real, and they are honest, and they're vulnerable, and they care so much for others. They're always talking about things that are actually impacting their real lives, and how they're, and how they're supporting themselves and how they're supporting others, as well as showing what they're actually doing in their practice. So exploring, showing crafts, herbal remedies and spells, rituals, and ways that they're practicing in the real world. And often this channel is really aesthetically beautiful as well. Everything is done so beautifully, and it's just a joy to watch. It really is. So I cannot recommend that channel enough as well. I have to talk about Candy, Soul and Soil. Candy is so lovely, and the channel is all about tarot and oracle, as well as witchcraft and living a magical life, like a magical lifestyle that is authentic, you know, and often about their real life, again, real practice, real home space, real struggles, so honest, so vulnerable, shadow work, so much art. Candy is like a true art witch, and it's really beautiful to see all of the glorious artwork and the explorations. Candy creates a lot of hashtags for tarot and explores all those difficult subjects again, deco overwhelm, etc. And Candy is just a joy to chat to as well and to get to know. And often Candy will go on these fabulous adventures, such as discovering the Sheila in a gig, or going to find out stories that have long been buried and nobody knows about them, and Candy will go and discover them and work to support the spirit, to help them to release things that they weren't able to do. And it's such a touching channel. I can't tell you how many times I've watched one of Candy's videos and been in tears, like for joy, but also because it's so touching and beautiful. So yeah, I love Candy and cannot recommend her channel enough as well. And there's lots about gardening as well in Candy's channel, because Candy is an avid gardener as well as artist and tarot enthusiast. And I also want to mention an author who has a really beautiful channel, who actually I think should have way more subscribers. It's Rachel Batterson, which many of you would have heard about. Rachel has several books on the moon. She has lots of books out with Moon Books Publishing, but she's also got some books with Llewellyn, I believe, and some more books coming out. She's always writing. And Rachel has this fantastic live stream that she does via Facebook as well as YouTube, and it's on Friday mornings here in the UK. And Rachel has been doing this since lockdown, and I have always loved watching it back. I am never there for the live because I work, but also I don't really know how to find it on Facebook, and I think I'm following the Kitchen Witch Coven, which is Rachel's coven, and I definitely follow her website, etc. I don't watch it on Facebook, I watch it on YouTube, and occasionally I'll comment. But Rachel is such an experienced witch, obviously in Wicca as well as witchcraft, now, you know, an eclectic solitary witch essentially, and is really a community builder, fosters a community, cultivates that, nurtures it, and encourages people to share their experiences. She's so full of her own wisdom, and she's so humble and just a beautiful soul. I really love her humour. Her sense of humour is incredible. She seems like an incredible woman. So I love watching Rachel on a weekend or later that day on the Friday. I watch it back. I love Rachel's channel and I cannot recommend her enough. So I'm also going to recommend Taryn at the House of Witchcraft. What an original kind of channel the House of Witchcraft is. Again, I've been watching for years. Again, a real witch who works in Southern Conjure, hoodoo, and has been trained and initiated into a number of traditions. And Taryn has so many years worth of experience and knowledge and wisdom, and she opens up her doors and supports new witches and intermediate witches and advanced witches, and she supports everyone. And there's online covens, there's the in real life coven as well, and Taryn again is one of these witches who has so much experience, so much knowledge, and is building community everywhere and welcoming everyone as well and telling the truth and being real, and I love that. So Taryn is beautiful and fantastic, and I absolutely love watching her. So I had to share about Taryn's channel as well. House of Witchcraft is fantastic because Taryn is interviewing people, and there are so many members of the coven who also appear on the channel as well, whether that's as part of a ritual or a tea recipe or a spell or some kind of coven group discussion they're having or an interview, and it's really fun. There's so many diverse ideas, and they talk about the different ways that each of the coven members who are there might do something and how different it is, and yet they come together and they're this beautiful coven, and it's just fantastic. I love it so much. So it's so fun. So I really hope that you've enjoyed hearing about some of these channels. If I didn't mention your channel, it might be because you've already got a huge following, and I do love your channel and I think that you are an incredible creator as well, but I wanted to talk about the channels who don't have those big followings, because I really believe that these people have incredible content. And you know, some people are incredible and have huge followings, but there are also incredible people who have small followings, okay? So like, just because someone might have fewer subscribers, it does not mean that their content is not gold, because I'm telling you, no matter how experienced you are, there is still more to learn. There's always subjects that you can learn more about. There's always subjects you have never even probably looked into, and there's always more to learn and always ways to improve your craft. And it doesn't matter how much experience someone's had either, because someone might just have a different creative idea, and I swear that creativity is the way forward. I would also like to mention the Witch's Box. I work with the Witch's Box, and the Witch's Box has an incredible YouTube channel. Elena does live streams every Tuesday, a live oracle reading and witchcraft chat on a Tuesday, which is really gorgeous. Everyone gets together, there's an oracle reading with some journal prompts, and then there is a witchcraft chat with lots of tips and people advising each other and asking questions. And Elena is such an incredible witch. I love working with the Witch's Box, but also like, she's such an incredible mentor. She has so much experience and knowledge and wisdom, and she's so, again, humble and supportive in every single way. Elena also offers a free meditation every Friday that's live, and I'm telling you, these meditations are like gold. There are now more than 50 of them on the channel, and they are there to practice whenever you want, and I timestamp them so that you can literally just click the timestamp when the meditation starts. So the start, you don't have to listen to it, or you can listen to that first and then you can pause it and then come back and then click the timestamp when you're ready to go into the meditation. If you're listening to it, say when you're doing the washing up or something, and then you can't do the meditation right then and there, pause it, come back to it, save it in your watch later, or save it in a playlist for meditations, come back to it, click the timestamp, and you can go straight into the meditation, and it's just gorgeous. And then at the end there's like a debrief, time to reflect, time to journal on some of the things that have come up for you, and it's just such a lovely experience. And Elena's offering lots and lots of courses as well, so there are links below that are affiliate links of mine to support the Witch's Box. I would highly recommend that if you're looking for some really good meditations and to get involved with some live community chats and to learn more about some of the books that are new and classic books as well, then definitely subscribe to the Witches box. So I've now come to the end of my list, and I'm so glad that I was able to make this. It means so much to me to be able to share these fantastic creators. They are just amazing in my eyes, and yeah, I'm so glad to be here talking as well. I feel so grateful. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. If you're not already subscribed, click the subscribe button as well as the notification button so that you can be notified when I create and upload videos just like this. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon page where I'm sharing new and full moon full forecasts with details of what the planets are doing, the aspects, etc., as well as ritual ideas, herbs and crystals that you can work with in your practice during that lunation, as well as a custom tarot spread that I create for that lunation as well, and that's a PDF that you can download and use whenever you want. You can use it for shadow work as well as tarot spreads, which I often do. I also have an Instagram page and a TikTok, and I'm very active on the Instagram page. You can also support me by clicking the super thanks below. I also have a direct PayPal link and a buy me a coffee page as well if you'd prefer to support me that way. But if not, just being here, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, it means so much to me. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose because the cat fur. So if you made it this far to the end, then please leave me a little cat emoji. I'm so grateful for you all, and I really hope that you have a really fantastic rest of your day, and that I hope you're well and safe and looking after yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video really soon. Take care. Many blessings. Bye.